Good afternoon once again, and welcome to Prime Time, the show for the mature of years but young of heart and spirit. Sadly, Matthew is not with us today, but fortunately I'm joined by two very lively and entertaining guests, both of whom are going to tell us about their interests and pursuits. And first I'd like to introduce you to Margaret Hazelton, who's going to tell us all about line dancing and everything involved with it, and Corrine Mutlow, who's here to tell us all about the work she does with people having suffered a stroke and in need of some stroke rehabilitation exercises. So, ladies, welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
Very nice to see you. And Margaret, the first thing I've got to comment on is your wonderful, wonderful T-shirt. Tells us everything that line dancing is all about, all the shimmer and the glamour and the cowboy boots, which is fantastic. Now, I have to say, the first time I'm aware of finding out about line dancing was when, some years ago now, Billy Ray Cyrus brought out that wonderful Achy Breaky Heart. And I suspect that probably sparked a real interest in line dancing and all associated with it. So would you like to tell us a bit about what you do and how you do it?
Well, I started teaching, I suppose, about 15 years ago now. I was dancing a long time before then, but when the craze hit, sort of thing, as everybody knew it, and it went into not only just country, but pop and Irish and all sorts of dance. That was when people sort of said to me, "Oh, can you teach? You know, we want to learn. Can you teach?" And I kept saying no, you know, because I was working full time and it was just too much really to take on, and you know, it was the money involved in sort of setting it up and getting all the system and everything. But in the end, you know, I did. And and before I knew it, I was teaching every night, you know, which got quite a lot with working full time as well. Then I changed my job slightly. I still work for the same company, but it meant early starts, and I found I couldn't do both. So I cut it down, and I just sort of did a couple of big classes rather than every night, so that at least I had a bit more time. So
where are you currently running classes?
We're at the moment, I've got one at St George's in Whirl. We do that on a Thursday, and then I'm doing Bridgewater as well at the Blake Hall. And then hopefully in January another one in Taunton.
Fantastic.
So so you know, we're still going, still out there, it's still there.
But obviously it's your passion that's communicating itself to people, I would have thought.
Well, you know, I think we all enjoy it, and that's why we do it.
Absolutely. So do you have regulars who come, you know, year in, year out, and just keep the whole thing going?
I've got a lot of girls that have been with me from the beginning or nearly the beginning. Yeah, people that have been doing it a long, long time as well. And
you say girls, what about gentlemen? Are they line dancing as well?
Yeah, we have a few, but I have to say there is more ladies than men. So if there's any single men out there looking for ladies...
Just about to say that. Gentlemen, this is where they all are, so come on, let's get you out there shaking it about a bit.
I mean, it's the ideal place to go. If you're on your own, there's no need to stay in and watch the telly. The amount of people that have said to me, "I wish I'd found this years ago."
Absolutely.
You know, you'll soon find somebody to chat to. Just come along.
And it was the beauty about line dancing. It's not like dancing with a partner.
No,
that's the whole point about it. You're in a crowd.
You can do beginners, you can do intermediates, you can do advanced, you can do whatever level you want, whatever dances you want. We do all sorts. You can do waltzes, you can do cha-chas, you can do country. Yeah, it's all there. This is why it stems such a lot. So you can do fast, you can slow, you can rock and roll. We can do all sorts in a line dance. So it is awkward for us because we have to try and sort of like obviously not do a waltz every week to teach. You know, we have to try and sort of say, well, I taught a waltz last week, I'll do a cha-cha this week, or I'll do rock and roll. We haven't done anything fast. So you have to try and sort of mix it all up and do like a wide variety, really.
So that mixture works for people?
I think most people enjoy it.
Absolutely, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think most people do.
They're learning so many different dance styles and dance steps, which is fantastic.
Yeah, you can do rumba, salsa. It's all there in, you know, in one night. It's brilliant.
Well, bargain, absolute bargain.
Brilliant, yeah.
And do people have to book ahead with you or just
turn
up on the night?
Pay on the door.
Oh, fun. Well, we'll definitely make sure at the end of the programme all your details will be up there and people can get in touch with you and find out what nights and when's available to them, because I can see a whole surge of people coming along to it.
Well, we're still there. I know a lot of people think that it sort of died after the craze and all that sort of thing, you know, but it was there before the craze and it'll be there after. It will never die. It will always be there.
Well, I have to admit, in my ignorance, when I think of line dancing, I automatically think of someone in the cowboy costume with the boots, just as you're demonstrating on your T-shirt. And I didn't realise how wide a scope it actually encompasses.
I mean, I think when they brought it in for the pop music as well, it's brought in the younger generation as well.
That's great.
And that's what's going to keep it alive and going. I know some of the country and western people have sort of moaned, line dancers, you know. But at the end of the day, that's going to keep it going.
Absolutely.
You know, for them, because although we dance to country music, we don't dance to stuff like Jim Reeves and things like that.
Okay.
We dance to what I call the new country.
Right.
So you've got, you know, probably a lot of people haven't heard of, sort of Toby Keith and people like that, who are big country stars in America.
Right.
And it's what you call the new country, like Lady Antebellum, Shania Twain.
Wow.
You know, all those, they're all sort of like, it's a bit more with it, sort of dancing, rather than your sort of laid back sort of gym.
Superb. And I have to say, for someone like me, who admittedly has two left feet, and I'm very good at shaking my hips, and when I've got to try to get my feet to move in sequence, something goes sadly wrong there. But
it's trying to get it from here down to here.
Absolutely. But if I'm in a line and I'm not trying to dance with one person, obviously I'd feel far less intimidated, and it would take my own time to actually process what I'm supposed to be doing.
I think
great fun.
To begin with, we do the dances that you learn over and over and over and over again, so that in the end you're so fed up with them, if you know what I mean. But
they're ingrained.
Start off
Absolutely.
really, really, really easy and just build it up, you know, and bring in all the different steps.
Absolutely.
And it's amazing. It's amazing how people do come on, you know. I mean, I had somebody come to a class once, and we did the first dance. I put the music on, and I thought, what was that? And a trainer came. She did sort of like 8 counts. She took her shoe off and chucked it across the room. And I thought, oh my goodness me, you know, I've never had this before.
Right.
What's going to happen here? And I thought, oh, you know, first hour, and they're soon going to walk out the door, like, you know. Yeah. But do you know what? They were still there 3 hours later, and I'm thinking, well, I can't believe they were still trying to do these dances. And I mean, she went on and became a really, really good dancer.
Fantastic.
And I think it was because she really wanted to learn, and she was getting so frustrated because she couldn't get it. Sure. But I mean, you know, within a couple of weeks, she was fantastic.
Sounds brilliant.
And I think if you really want to learn, you will do.
Absolutely.
You know, it's like everything. You've just got to knuckle down and
knuckle down, follow everybody else's lead, and give yourself time to process everything. This is the thing, because we all learn differently.
Yeah.
Which I think actually brings me in perfectly, Corrine, to talk to you, because you're working with people who have suffered strokes and obviously need, I'm assuming, a fairly gentle exercise regime in order to help their synapses in the brain click back into place again.
That's right, it's just gaining confidence, one of the first things, and teaching them maybe to slow down a little bit.
Right.
Become aware of their posture.
Yes.
Think of how they're walking. And as we get them used to that more and more, for those of them that can walk, then start building up their muscles, get the muscles stronger. They can sit and stand a lot easier as the muscles get stronger.
Right.
And as that improves, they get more and more confident. And just becoming aware, because one day they might be in normal jobs or doing their normal day-to-day things, rushing around like we all do from A to B.
Yeah.
And after they had the stroke, they have to just suddenly slow down. Life has changed and have to become a lot more aware. And then when they do learn to slow down, you can see it's nice, and they start to feel stronger, and they can start to feel a bit more positive about the future again.
Absolutely. Well, of course, and even though it's a class you run, really you're working with people very much on a one-to-one basis, because everybody's at a particular stage, or their stroke has affected different parts, different functions.
That's right. It's people affected different ways, some to a greater degree than others. But seen a lot of people improve, get a lot stronger.
That's fantastic.
And just generally get a lot more confident.
Absolutely.
And if they can't do one thing, they can maybe turn their hand to another thing in life.
That's right.
So it's getting to realise that you can still enjoy life and do other things.
Well, that's the key, isn't it? Adapting. I mean, that's something as human beings we have to do all the time.
Yeah.
So it's very important to help people through that process. And this all happens at Hutton Moor, your
It does,
class.
yes. Yeah, on Tuesday.
Absolutely. Yeah. So how do people get to you? Are they referred by their GPs, or can they self-refer?
The hospital are aware of it. We have had lots of people come along and look and see what we do. But really, it's more word of mouth. There is a stroke club goes on at Wilby Golf Club.
Oh, right.
That's also on a Tuesday morning. And they go along, they have all different things go on, their talks, they also arrange outings and all sorts of things. Quite a large group of people, and so they are also aware of this class that's going on.
Oh, well, that's good.
And the biggest problem with the class that I run is for people actually getting there. So if they're not able, if they haven't got transport or someone that can bring them.
Right.
So it depends on the cost of transport to get them there. Some come by taxis.
Right.
And things like that.
Right. So is there a cost implication with your classes?
There is a cost. Right. It's paid directly. It's nothing to do with me. It's paid directly at Hutton Moor. It's £3 something. I've got a feeling.
Okay.
Something like $3.70, but I'm not quite sure. It's paid directly through Hutton Moor.
Right, okay.
And that's for the hour. The hour always goes very quick. They always have lots of laughs.
Well, that's great, because
it's support each other.
I was going to say, it's very much a social outing for them as well,
yeah.
which I think is so very important, because people who have suffered any kind of trauma, be it mental or physical, can feel isolated, can feel no one else is in the same position. So it's great for them to be able to come along and meet other people and watch how everybody progresses together.
Well, that's it. They encourage each other, because you'll get people coming to me for a long time, and you might get somebody new come along. And then they can also hear the feedback from them that they also started in that position. Yeah, they maybe started off in a wheelchair and now are walking, or maybe even walking up the stairs. And they've encouraged and can realise that they too can progress like that.
Absolutely.
So it's nice to get the feedback from other people of how much they've come on.
And I'm sure it's a great relief to the families as well, to know that there's someone who knows how to encourage and support them. Yeah. And maybe they can then look at the exercise you do and try to encourage them.
I do. I get carers come in, and I say to them, they use hand weights, and I say to them, you can have hand weights as well. Great. You can come up and down on a step. You can join in. So I've also had carers join in.
So they get a workout too?
They get a workout.
That can't be bad. I like that. I like your style. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. So obviously you'd both say in your own way that really, exercise and getting everything working and jiggling about in the way it's supposed to is so important to all of us, isn't it? Particularly as we get a little older.
And it's nice to have a bit of fun with it, I think.
Well, this is the important thing about
rather than just do it.
And you've got to have fun. Whatever you do, it's got to be enjoyable. Otherwise, you're not going to want to keep it going.
I couldn't agree with you more. That's the important element in life with all of us. It's no good. You've got to have a positive mental attitude, but equally, you've got to exercise your body and your mind at the same time. That's so important, isn't it?
Yeah. Quite often people come along, they don't realise, they say, I wish I'd actually exercised beforehand. Yeah. I wished I'd realised about it. It's only because something has happened.
This is the trouble, isn't it?
Made them realise.
This is the trouble. And, obviously the sooner their situation is picked up, the better. But still, a lot of people aren't aware of the signs of a stroke. And that's something, everybody really should find out a little bit more about and keep an eye, particularly on their older relatives. Though obviously a stroke isn't necessarily just associated as you get older.
No,
younger people too can have strokes, but it's important to realise what the signs are, and yet on the other side, what is there to help people after they've been through it. It's not, the end of their functioning life, they can, with a
isn't.
gentle exercise regime, be helped through.
Yeah, and they can actually, a lot of them can improve and get a lot stronger.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've seen a lot of changes in people.
Well, that's brilliant. That is fantastic. So maybe then when they've had you, they can go on to do some line dancing, have a bit more socialising as well. That sounds wonderful. I mean, particularly this miserable, dark time of year, what you ladies are suggesting really makes me want to come along and have a go myself. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much. It's been wonderful to talk to both of you. And what you do out there in the community is fantastic. Now, at the end of the show, there will be a link so people can get in touch with both of you and find out a little bit more about what you do. And hopefully, we'll find out a bit more about all the people who come forward and want to join in because of what they've seen on the show. So thank you both for being here on this cold and miserable day. And I think it's going to snow outside shortly. But thank you both indeed for coming along and inspiring everybody. And thank all of you for joining us. Hopefully you will join us again next week because we're always here at prime time to have a range of guests and show you what goes on out there in the community for the over 55s. So hopefully see you again next week.